Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before I begin today's briefing, I would like to reiterate what Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott said this morning. The international cooperation underway in the search for MH370 is nothing short of tremendous. The militaries of Malaysia, Australia, the United States, New Zealand, China, Japan, and Korea are all working hand in glove to find the missing plane. I should also like to point out that Indonesia has given clearance for 94 sorties by aircraft from 9 different countries to fly in their airspace as part of this search. As Prime Minister Abbott said, it is heartening to see so many different countries working together for a humanitarian cause to resolve this extraordinary mystery and to bring closure for the families on those on board. This morning, the Prime Minister spoke with Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott. Prime Minister Abbott gave a full update on the status of the search operations headed out of Perth. Our Prime Minister has decided to travel to Perth on Wednesday for a working visit to Pearce Air Force Base to see the operations firsthand and also to thank the personnel involved in the multinational search effort, including the Malaysian personnel. This afternoon, the Australian High Commissioner to Malaysia briefed me on the creation of a new Joint Agency Coordination Centre, JACC, which will be based out of Pearce Air Force Base in Perth. The JACC will be headed by an Air Marshal retired Angus Houston, the former Chief of the Defence Force Australia. The JACC will coordinate operations between all Australian government agencies and international search teams. As per the information that we have received from the Australian authorities, the area of search today is 254,000 square kilometres. Today, 9 military aircraft and 1 civilian aircraft travelled to the search area. These planes are 2 Malaysian C-130s, 1 Chinese Illusion IL-76, 1 Japanese Coast Guard G5, 1 Australian P-3 Orion, 1 New Zealand P-3 Orion, 1 New Zealand civilian aircraft, 1 American P-8 Poseidon, 1 Japanese P-3 Orion, and 1 Korean P-3 Orion. Today, 11 ships were also deployed to the search area, and there are 8 Chinese ships: the Shuilong, the Kunlun San, the Haikou, the Chao Kan Tui, the Jingak Kang San, the Hai Shin, the Dong Hai Jiu, and the Nan Hai Jiu. 3 Australian ships, the HMAS Success, the HMAS Toowoomba, and a merchant vessel, Barclay Pearl, which is currently transiting in the search area. The Malaysian ship, the KD Likiu, is expected to arrive in the search area on the 3rd of April. The ADV Ocean Shield, fitted with a towed pinger locator and a Bluefin 21 autonomous underwater vehicle, is due to arrive in the search area on the 3rd of April. In terms of sightings of potential objects, on Saturday, 5 objects were retrieved by HMAS Success and the Haisun. However, it was found that none of these objects were related to MH370. On Sunday, an Australian P-3 Orion made visual sighting of 7 potential objects. A Korean P-3 Orion also made visuals of 3 potential objects. The Chinese ship, the Haisun, was tasked on Monday to retrieve these potential objects. In my capacity as Malaysian Defence Minister, I will leave tonight for the United States Pacific Command in Hawaii. I will attend the ASEAN Defence Ministers meeting, which will be held from the 1st to the 3rd of April. The meeting is being convened by the US Defence Secretary, Secretary Chuck Hagel. On behalf of the Malaysian government, I will share with my ASEAN counterparts and the government of the United States the latest developments regarding the search of MH370. I will convey to our ASEAN neighbors and the United States Malaysia's utmost appreciation for their invaluable help in the multinational search effort. I will also use this opportunity to discuss the possibility of deploying more specific military assets in the event that we need to embark on a more complex phase of the operation. I shall be discussing with the United States and our other friends and allies how best we can acquire the assets needed for possible deep sea search and recovery. Today I held a meeting with the Indonesian Special Envoy and the Special Advisor to the Foreign Minister, Ibu Wewe Setiawati, and in her delegation included His Excellency Mr. Herman Prayitno, the Ambassador of Indonesia to Malaysia. The Special Envoy expressed her heartfelt gratitude to the government of Malaysia and the multinational team conducting the search operation. And the Special Envoy also stated that Indonesia fully understands the complexity and the magnitude of the challenge ahead and reaffirms its unshakable support for Malaysia. Yesterday, a group of families whose loved ones were on board MH370 arrived in Kuala Lumpur from Beijing. The government is due to hold a high-level briefing soon for these families to update them on the latest developments regarding the search for MH370. The briefing will include international experts who were not available during the briefings in Beijing, including experts from China. It will also be broadcasted live to other families in Beijing. The search for MH370 continues to be a large, complex, multinational effort involving many countries and international agencies. Much of the research that has been used to track MH370 has been provided to the Malaysian investigators by our international partners. This research is extremely complicated, involving teams of highly specialized experts, many of whom are based in different countries around the world. The briefing will provide an opportunity for the families to hear directly from some of these experts. The experts will be able to explain the research, the data, and the methodology that has informed the search operations. Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that it has been a difficult time for all the families, and we appreciate that many families want to see physical evidence before they will accept that MH370 ended in the South Indian Ocean. We find ourselves in a difficult position. And I repeat, the question that the families principally want answered is the question we simply do not have the answer to, namely where their loved ones are and where is MH370. On Saturday, I met with the Malaysian and Chinese families based in Kuala Lumpur. It was the most difficult meeting I have ever attended. The families are heartbroken. For many, the strain of the past few weeks have been unbearable. But the one message they delivered to me again and again is not to give up hope. And I promised the families that Malaysia, working with our international partners, will not give up hope. We will continue with all our efforts to find MH370. This is a promise that Malaysia intends to keep. We will continue searching, and we will keep investigating, and we will never give up until we find out what happened to MH370.
The fact that the possibility of a hijack, the IGPSC previously said that there are 4 areas that they are focusing on, including hijacking, and that will continue. As regards to whether the objects will be recovered and whether the announcement by the Prime Minister, as you know, the area of responsibility is with Australia. And as you know, the efforts being taken by the Australian authorities has been very commendable. It is supported by 7 nations just for that quadrant. The Prime Minister, who is going to be traveling to Perth on Wednesday, will be briefed fully on how things are going to be have been conducted and how it's going. I'll probably be discussing what are the plans ahead.
The second question about the lawsuit as posed by the Chinese families. Malaysia Airlines obviously has not been notified, and we have to know what those suits are before we respond.
Thank you, you, sir.
Let me answer in terms of pilot. Now, as far as we're concerned, it's our role as an organization to fully cooperate with the investigation. Okay, we know our pilots, and we know that they are qualified and they're experienced to fly the aircraft. Right, but like I said, we have to fully cooperate with the investigating authorities.
I monitor statements coming out of Perth very closely. There is no indication of a timeline as such, and I feel, to be fair to the families, and I've indicated that all systems go, and there is no letting up at the moment. And as I announced, our Prime Minister is going to be in Perth on Wednesday. I think it looks as though we're going to continue. What happens later, we have discussed it, but I think, to be fair to the families, that is something that I would not want to share with the public at the moment, because our focus is still to find the airplane. Memang tadi dalam kenyataan saya sudah mengesahkan mana yang kita dapat kumpul dan jumpa dan bawa kembali ke pengkalan tidak boleh dikaitkan dengan MH370 setakat ini. Tetapi operasi untuk mengesan visuals dan barangan yang melalui satelit masih berterusan. Berkait dengan kepakaran, saya dah nyatakan sejak awal ini oleh kerana ada keluarga daripada Beijing, dan satu briefing taklimat akan diberikan kepada mereka, yang kali ini akan melibatkan pakar-pakar tertentu supaya permintaan mereka untuk mendapat maklumat tambahan dapat dipenuhi. Ini saya tak tahu lagi sama ada melibatkan Boeing, tetapi pakar-pakar lain seperti daripada NTSB dan sebagainya sedang dibincangkan dalam masa terdekat ini.